are now tuned into VAR Sports Media, another big NFL week that we're here to summarize for you. You know, I was thinking, enjoying the festivities last night of Monday Night Football, and I said, you know, these raggedy ass Seahawks, they don't even deserve a Psycho Sid. I'm not breaking out a Psycho Sid for them yet, because the that'll be later when it all comes to fruition. But there wasn't. I told you, because man. As soon as they ran out of bottom five quarterbacks to play against, holy shit, someone went 18 for 18, 100%. No passes hit the ground in an ass whooping on Monday Night Football. Just like I said was about to start happening to them. It was a beautiful thing. Hope you enjoyed that 3-0 start there, Seahawks fans. Hope you guys made your plans, booked your flights. But on a more positive note, man, of course, our two prominent Commanders fans, we can't get a hold of them this week. Maybe they're still out partying. Maybe this is the highest times that they've had for quite some time. The 3-1 NFC East leading Washington Commandos.
Best offense in the league.
Jayden Daniels, 91% over the first 4 games. An NFL record, not a rookie record. An NFL record for any 4-game span, 91% completion percentage. And that's significant to me because that's the kind of thing that doesn't really, if you can do it, if you're accurate, if you're making good choices, you're accurate and you're making good choices. That's not really a thing that changes or goes backwards. So he's there, man. And I feel like because we've seen some stanky games, we've seen some tough stuff. This thing keeps coming back up about, the quarterback nadir, the lack of quarterback play in the modern era. And I'm just like, man, I just feel like some of y'all must not have been watching back in the late 90s, early 2000s, because every year now, regularly, it seems like we have a rookie quarterback who does this, even in the worst rookie quarterback class you could imagine. Brock Purdy, his rookie quarterback class was the one where Malik Willis was the first guy taken. None of those boys are good, but Brock Purdy was a fucking stud as a rookie right off the bat. Joe Burrow, Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, Jayden Daniels. You guys remember Donovan McNabb, Akili Smith, Tim Couch, Mike Vick. All those guys got picked. Drew Brees. Those drafts, it was fucking unheard of for a rookie to even get on the field.
Yeah,
his rookie year as a quarterback. It was not even like the expectation when they picked them was like, well, this is an investment in the future because we're not going to see this guy for a year, usually often 2 years. You wouldn't get the first round, the top 10 pick in the game. And now these guys come out, there's at least one every year who's playing at a Pro Bowl level. It's unbelievable. So I don't know where this the slump in quarterback play thing is coming from when we got rookies out here that come in and they're like automatic, ready to go. Yeah.
Well,
what do you guys think of this Commanders, this surprising but fun Commanders start? I think Cliff Kingsbury is benefiting as well from just getting to play calls and call plays and design an offense rather than have to run a team. Seems like he's really hit his groove and found his mojo as well. True, what do you think, man?
It's interesting because looking at the Commanders, schedule and who they beat, I mean, they low-key dominated the Bengals, but the Bengals, I think it's a little bit of up in the air, right? A little bit up in the air to see exactly what type of team the Bengals are going to be this season. Even though they beat the Panthers this week, they don't necessarily look like a well-oiled machine like you would expect them to. So, the Commanders had some, I'd say, favorable matchups to start. I mean, the Buccaneers game, I don't think anybody expected them to win that one. But since then, they've really turned it around. I think barely escaping that Giants game with a win. Getting a sizable lead on the Bengals and then, kind of, holding water to keep it. That paled in comparison to them hitting what feels like their peak in this game this week against the Cardinals. What more could you really say about that team? Just offensively dominant from start to finish. You're talking about a team that, I mean, obliterated the Cardinals. The Cardinals didn't have not looked well in general. Obviously, it's now they're 1-3, but Jayden Daniels is going 26, 26 for 30. He had like 233 yards. Uh, Passing, had a touchdown, had a running touchdown, had a rushing touchdown. He had like 47 yards rushing, I believe. On top of that, you got Brian Robinson Jr. going out there getting 100 yards on the ground. They just have a bunch of weapons and just a bunch of ways that they can come at you. And I think, even Jeremy McNichols was out there, getting to it. So yeah, I think he had 2 TDs on the day. So when you have that type of firepower, and it seems like the defense is also doing what they need them to do, it's a surprise to me because I didn't think. And it's like I don't want the Commanders to really do well personally because obviously Tay and our guy Cam are Commanders fans, so I don't want any success, any joy to come from that. But you have to give credit where credit's due, and they have surprised the hell out of me. Honestly, I was really genuinely surprised at some of the stuff that I saw, especially in that game against especially in that game against the Cardinals. I did not expect them to be so dominant, and not that the Cardinals are great or even really good, but it's just I expected a little more fight to be put up. Same way I expected the Bengals put up a little more fight. It's hard to pinpoint because they do so many good things offensively right now. Everything is clicking, and when you can put up the type of points that they're putting up, hey man, like I said, got to tip my hat. I can't pinpoint one thing because there's so many different areas of attack that they have, and it's different for the Commanders. Very different, very different. I would. I'm really curious to see how they do these next 3 or 4 weeks. I'd say about 2 weeks from now they got their toughest test of the season, on paper at least. We'll see how it goes, cause yeah. But I'm anxious to see how it goes, man. They could end up being 4-2, 5-1, heading into week 7, and hey, if that's the case, imagine being 5-1 heading to a game against the Panthers.
Pretty good look,
Yeah. So
especially as we saw the Eagles free falling a little bit,
whoo,
got their fucking boots smoked against the
stanky,
Buccaneers. Buccaneers had
stanky.
one off game, but they have continued to look pretty rocking and rolling. They put it on the fucking Eagles this weekend. Shouts to the Buccaneers, man. That's sleeper team we've been talking about, but not to stray too far away from the DMV, because there was a big statement made by someone's team that joined us right now. Baltimore, looks like we might have gotten our shit together a little bit, headed in a good direction. Tell us about it, Apollo.
Yeah, so the Ravens, they got a dominating win against the Bills, primetime game, home game. All the makings of some real good football. Now I will say this: I'm not going to get too excited because they should really be 3-1, but the Raiders game, you got to throw away the tape and chalk it to the past. But still, I think they should be 3-1. But you gotta take care of business next week against the Bengals, and they're coming off a win. Albeit against the Panthers, Andy Dalton or not, they're still the Panthers, and I believe that you can't take this game for granted. And I'm glad that they didn't take Buffalo for granted because they very well could have gotten steamrolled if if I guess if Buffalo had their way, just like the dominating performances that they had coming into this game. So, I mean, to see the defense step up, Derrick Henry. I mean, that was a vintage King Henry performance. If you ever see one, that's it.
Yeah, everything that happened on Sunday night, that's the way it was supposed to look coming into the
way
year.
it was supposed to look. That's the way it was supposed to look. The offensive line looked great. They were maulers. They were road raiders. That it was great. They gave Derrick Henry the ball in zero formation. They weren't just giving him out in space and in zone, and in zone. So it's good. The things are coming together slowly. I mean, when you have performances like that, you're not going to get too much from your wide receivers. I mean, this is the Ravens franchise. At the end of the day, the franchise is known for running the ball and defense. And that was a good performance. Like I said, next week we got to go in and take care of business. You can't take Cincinnati. You can't take them lightly. It's a division game.
Oh no, divisional matchup. Let's start creating some
division.
separation.
Even though Lamar does have a good record against the Bengals, still, you can't take them lightly. And
absolutely. Swinging
Baltimore,
on out.
Cincinnati.
I know people, probably expect. Look, man. So, first and foremost, what's up? Go ahead.
Don't say it, man. I'm waiting on the 49ers segment. I'm waiting on that.
That's what we're doing.
I was going to say it. Let's get to it. You got to gloat a little bit. Got to talk a little shit.
No, come on. You know me. I'm a downplay a little bit. Defense. What did I tell you guys last week? I figured that I would had more faith in them rounding into form than I would if the offense looked lost. They look real good this week. Now, I don't want anybody out there to get too hyped up about it because this is a reverse Seattle Seahawks situation. Patriots got one of the worst offenses in the league, and it got worse during the game because they lost two of they lost their best lineman and they lost another lineman. But performance is performance. Nick Bosa had a fucking out-of-body, all-world fucking performance. 9 pressures, got a sack fumble. It looked the way it was supposed to on defense. Now, the two of you have been on the right side of this following argument for the entire time. So we're not really going to dwell too much on it. Brock Purdy leads the league in passing yardage. The 49ers rank last in yards after catch. Ooh. So can we? Are we done? Are we done with this narrative? Are we done? Everybody out there, because I see some of you have just kind of slinked away from some of the things you used to fucking say. Go ahead, slither on your fucking bellies, clowns.
Really quick. Some tough news for the 49ers. Christian McCaffrey is it's not looking good right now, man.
So I'll post the texts when they said he wasn't in training camp. I can't remember if I've said this on here before. When they said he was missing training camp, I told my buddy, I said, you should probably start to mentally move on from him being on the team. I knew then. I knew it was. I think it's over. I don't think he's coming back ever. I think it's done.
It sounds like
ever. Hold on. You mean ever as in leaving the team?
Or he ain't coming back one way or the other. If he comes back to another team or.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just the type of thing that he heard it against the Commanders in December. If it wasn't better by August, why would it be better? You know what I mean? It's a chronic issue that flares up with overuse. I have the same thing in my foot. It sucks. There's nothing, if he goes out there and he pushes it, he's gonna fucking tear it. Richard Sherman was just talking about that in his pod last week. So, something might cool might happen, but right now, guess who leads the league in rushing? Jordan Mason. Does he give you the flexibility? Does he give you the stress that he puts on a defense in the passing game like Christian McCaffrey does? No. But the Niners went to the Super Bowl with Raheem Mostert. Yes, it was a fantastic weapon X to have on the team that gave them flexibility, gave them more options. But, it's time to move on and design the offense in a different way. And they really haven't had any trouble moving the ball or scoring this year. Now, the red zone has been a different story, and that is becoming pretty concerning. I'm not going to lie. We're 4 games. The real games start next weekend. The real preseason is over, and the red zone has still been an issue. So I really need to see that get cleaned up sooner rather than later. But
well, speaking of
it is what it is. I had already mentally moved on.
Yeah, unfortunate situation there with CMC. Another unfortunate situation, or I guess maybe not as unfortunate, depending on what side of the fence you stand on with this, is the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs lost their what seems like their number one receiver this weekend, probably for the rest of the season, in Rashee Rice. I believe it was an ACL injury, if I'm not mistaken. Very tough, very, very tough, and actually made worse by the fact that Mahomes is kind of responsible for that. So not the best situation going into week 5. Not what you want to hear if you're the Chiefs. They have a tough matchup against the Saints this coming week. I believe that's a Monday Night Football game, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the Monday Night Football game. So I mean, you want to go in against a team like the Saints with all your firepower, and they are lacking that. Well, we'll see what Xavier Worthy can bring them. We'll see if they can, bring somebody else in to kind of, replicate that. Travis Kelce seemingly found out he still knows how to catch the ball all of a sudden, without Rashee Rice out there, and the Chiefs barely escaped the Chargers. Very close games. I mean, it feels like we say this every season now.
Every season.
The Chiefs are escaping. They're escaping. One day their luck's gonna run out.
They got a bunch of nobodies out there. We got Carson Steele, and we got motherfuckers who don't even sound like they're real fucking people. They got generated and as recruits in NCAA football. But until they fail to do it, right? We say that he can't go to this with these receivers, and then there they are. Although I will say that Rashee Rice was kind of a guy who kind of emerged. We didn't know that he was there. He was there the whole time. We didn't know that he was going to end up being what he was. But yeah, man, we'll see. We'll see this week. We'll see this year. What are you guys looking forward to this weekend? True.
Bucks and Falcons, man. I really think this game is going to be a funny game. Honestly, I think it'll be a really funny game. I think the Falcons have an interesting team. They managed to escape, obviously beating the Saints this past week. The Bucks did a great job against the Eagles, and I'm anxious to see this game. I think it's going to be a really fun Thursday night football game. I'm a little hesitant on this Jets and Vikings game. I think that's the game I'm kind of overlooking a little bit just because of the early start time. And the Jets. Oh, I'm sorry. How did I forget to mention this? The Denver Broncos and Bo Nix escaped with the dirtiest, shittiest win that I've ever seen happen.
Yeah, that might be the nastiest work of all time, man. 67 passing yards.
That was awful. I mean, it was just an awful all-around game. I didn't watch much of it. I just was looking at my phone like, Jesus Christ, man. Like, is somebody going to do something? Like, what are we doing here? So I'm not necessarily looking forward to a Gardner Minshew versus Bo Nix showdown this week at all. The game that I have my eye on, obviously the Ravens and the Bengals, is one of the games that you definitely want to watch out for. But the two games that I'm really got my eye on. I'm pretty sure it's the same for a lot of us. I'd say the Bills and Texans, as well as the Packers and the Rams. To me, I want to see the Packers and the Rams just because I think it'll be a fun offensive game, despite the Rams, not having a lot of their guys and whatnot. I think it's gonna be a fun game, interesting game. I have no interest in watching the Cowboys and Steelers as two teams that I could give a fuck about, but if I have to pick somebody in that game, I'm gonna say Justin Fields. Justice Fields been carrying that goddamn Steelers team. I mean,
Yeah.
they did not get the win against the Colts. That was a close game, and Fields is carrying them, man. He's showing the fuck out. So gotta give props to him. Gotta give props to the Steelers team. I hope they demolish the Cowboys. I don't want to see the Cowboys win shit, do shit, be shit, none of that. So that's that. I guess I'd have to. I mean, obviously the Saints and the Chiefs Monday Night Football game. That's a game worthwhile and something to
Hell yeah.
look 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 forward to. That's gonna be a absolute fire game. I mean, if you're the 49ers, I'll be looking forward to that game against the Cardinals because the Cardinals ain't look so hot. So nice chance to get another win under your belt. Um, and in a funny way, I guess I am kind of looking towards the Commanders versus the Browns game. I am definitely interested to see how that game turns out. I mean, I expect the Commanders to win that based on what I've seen. The Browns did not look that
The
great.
Browns, I heard a stat this week. The Browns have the worst offensive EPA since since they came back. Since 1999. Their offensive EPA for this fucking year has been the worst it's been since that. You think of all the fucking stanky, crusty fucking teams that they trotted out over the years. This is the worst offensive EPA through 4 games they have ever had. It's multi-time sexual offender Deshaun Watson going out there just putting in just diabolical fucking numbers. Fucking 134 yards on 26 attempts and shit. Just woo!
Hey man,
Cleanse yourself.
to start the season, we have seen some shitty quarterback play. We have seen some of the worst. And by worst, I'm really, Deshaun Watson, Bo Nix, whoever plays quarterback for the Dolphins this year. That it's been rough. It's been a rough year so far, man. It's not been the the type of year I was expecting, and we're in week 5, so now everything is heightened and everything is going up. I do want to give a big shout out to the Minnesota Vikings because I was not expecting them to become the undefeated powerhouse that they've become.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of said, kind of said how long before we start thinking they're
Believe
for
in this.
real, and I'm almost there. I'm
When Sam
almost there.
Darnold is holding the Super Bowl trophy above his head in fucking February is when the fuck I'll believe it.
So never.
4
Okay, awesome.
years.
Okay.
4 years of stank. 6 years. Actually, no, 6. No, you ain't gonna fucking fool me after 4 fucking games. Absolutely fucking not. Speaking of 6 years of being sorry, the goddamn Seahawks, man, are playing the Giants this week. They just
Yeah.
unlimited shitty quarterbacks for them. My fucking
Yeah.
goodness. Oh well, let's just make it more fun when the real shit starts. We saw a little preview. It's just a little taste for me. Guess who the Seahawks are playing 4 days after that? The 49ers. So
Yeah, I
okay.
saw
You
that.
guys enjoy that Giants game. They're Seahawks. You guys, I hope you're 4-1.
Yeah.
Paolo, what are you looking forward to?
So the Buccaneers and Falcons game, that's going to be an interesting one. It's always interesting when you had divisional matchups because these teams played each other twice a year. They know each other. The Buccaneers, they're they're a good team. I'll say they're a good team. I don't think they may be as how they're hyped. I don't think that they're that good. Um, Baker Mayfield, he's good right now. He's dealing. Um, that weird game that they played, that they lost a few weeks ago. That was strange. But it's the NFL. You know, everybody can lose on any given Sunday. So. But I'm looking forward to seeing if they can sustain. I guess being up top of the division. The Jets and the Vikings. That's going to be a good one. I actually think the Jets might win this game. Um, Being as though that Rodgers, spent so much time in NFC North, he knows the Vikings. I think that familiarity, might serve them well, and they might play with a chip on their shoulder. And then by them being in London, I think that's a neutral game. I mean, like a neutral field, so they won't have that pressure that they will based off of that last loss. Um, let me see what else. Ravens and Bengals, of course, another divisional game. Spoke about that earlier, but I think the Ravens are going to win. I think they're going to keep their foot on the pedal and try to right the wrongs that were made earlier in the season. Um, the Texans and the Bills, that should be a good one. You got 2, 3, and 1 teams. Um, I mean, look, I think the Bills came off the loss, and not just any loss, a thumping. And Texans, they squeaked by against the Jaguars of all teams.
Of all
So
teams.
of all teams.
Texans
So
kind of saggy the last couple weeks, man. These
mhm.
teams just wait for us to give them some praise, and then it's fucking let's
but,
start
but
resting on our laurels and shit. And
I like the
yeah,
way that CJ battled back though. He did
yeah, yeah.
go through the adversity that last game, so that was good. Um, yeah.
Well, Jags, they make me think of the two Doug Peterson and Bob Sala. Man, things are not
TikTok,
looking great. Not looking great up there in either one of those places. What do you
tick,
think there, True?
TikTok, TikTok. Fuck the Jags. Fuck anybody who love the Jags. Fuck whoever own the Jags. That's a fact. Fuck them all. Nothing brings me more joy. Well, there's like one or two things that bring me more joy than seeing the Jags suffer, but it's up there in top 3, top 5 things that bring me joy. Seeing the Jags suffer, and boy, I was pissed because I said, "Yo, the Texans better not give these motherfuckers this win. Don't give these motherfuckers the win." And what they do, they did not give them the win. So I'm cool. I'm looking forward to that Bills and Texas game too, man. I want to see the Bills take another L. Um, and like I said, I'm a big fan of CJ. He hasn't looked as phenomenal
Yeah,
as he did
fits
through
and
his rookie
starts.
season.
We need
But
them to get this together, man.
yeah, it'll. I think it'll even out. Like we said, this is when the real season gets ready to start. Now, now you really gotta lock in. You either got that head start on a great record, or you have a head start before you start to eventually crash. And going into week 5, 3-1, you can either come out of it 4-1 with a little momentum, or you can come out of it 3-2 and slightly start a downward spiral. So I think the choice is up to somebody's going to leave that game 3-2, somebody's going to leave it 4-1, and I think the Bills can bounce back from being 3-2 and maybe being a little slightly in danger of taking a free fall. Where I think if the Texans lose this game, I don't know. I haven't looked at their full schedule, so I don't know how well the outlook is. But even then, it's like Apollo just mentioned. It's any given Sunday you can win, you can lose. There's no guarantee at anything with any of these teams. So I watch. I'm watching to see a few things from the Texans here. Want to see how the Bills bounce back. I know a lot of people wanted Josh Allen MVP train, and it looked like it kind of maybe slightly got derailed a little bit due to that, how the Ravens dominated. And if CJ and the Texans go out there and get a W, I think we're gonna have to put those Josh Allen MVP talks on hold again. Usually those talks fall off about December-ish, but we're starting a little early. Starting a little early with the MVP talk possibly falling off. We'll see how it goes this next game for the Bills, but yeah, I think that's the game of the week. Not that we do that here in terms of like segments or anything like that, but I think if you had to pick one game that stands out as the game of the week, I think the Bills and Texans, because I think it's the closest match in terms of not just record, but just what you're expecting out of those teams this year, considering their divisions. And yeah, I will say this: oh God, Davante Adams. I'm sorry, Davante Adams asking to be traded.
Yep.
I guess my question to you guys is who do you think gets him in, and what do you think is he still a top tier contributor at this point?
I mean, it's
In his,
hard to fucking tell with the situation that he's been in down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's funny is somebody, said, of course, this would fucking pan out this way. Somebody said the fucking Chiefs, and I said, "There's no fucking way. There's no fucking way they're gonna trade him, to a division rival." And then I stopped and
that's not happening.
well, it is the fucking Raiders. So
Yeah,
I don't know if anything can be taken off the fucking table with them. I think maybe the thought would be the Bills might be a natural spot, but I don't. The reason that they got rid of the guys they got rid of because they have the cap situation, so I don't think that they could take Adams' contract. Other contenders, it would be probably a contender that would make a big swing like that. Try and get that done. The Packers
Well,
should be in a decent cap situation, shouldn't they? That would be funny, right? He goes back to the Packers.
that'd be hilarious.
that'd be hilarious.
For a second run over there.
I saw somebody
Yeah.
say the Ravens to try to get him. I don't expect the
Yeah.
Ravens to make that call. I don't expect them to make that call though. But I think the Ravens. That's right. Somebody said the Ravens. I
Hell
don't
no.
expect them to make that call. They're not gonna make that call either way. Yeah, I don't think they're gonna make that call. But I
My,
I like the
real quick,
Packers.
my problem with Davante Adams is, as good as a receiver he is, the way he's handled that whole thing about just trade fiasco. Do y'all remember when Deshaun Jackson had spoke about him and how like Davante had responded in a press conference? Like it was almost as if he was kind of calling them out in a way. But
Yeah.
and it was like I didn't like the way he handled that because you wind up asking him for a trade anyway. We all knew you feel like that. But you know what I'm saying? Like don't act like you never spoke to him. Like you never spoke to him and shit like that. Like come on, man, that wasn't need for all that. Especially for you to turn around and do it anyway. And I think it's also bad PR by the Raiders. I just don't understand. Um, like why would y'all put out there? Why would it leak that y'all would be asking for like a second round pick or something like look, everybody knows he wants to be gone now. So they're gonna give you like meager deals, meager offers. And to be honest, you're gonna have to take the best one of those meager offers. And they're probably gonna come from a lot of contenders, and I expect the Chiefs to be one of them. But hell, the Bills might. I mean, I don't know how the whole financial thing is, but I just don't think that was smart. Antonio Pierce, I love AP. AP just not looking good because this is on your watch. I don't like that. It's already a scarcity of
I
African Americans.
wonder if the Steelers were talking about trading for Ayuk and then signing him to his new deal.
Yeah.
So that would imply to me that the Steelers have cap room to take somebody like Davante Adams. Maybe
George
them.
Pickens and Davante Adams together.
Yeah.
Well,
With
one
Justin
would
Fields.
assume that perhaps George Pickens would be part of the trade back to the Raiders.
I feel like you kind of to a
Maybe
little bit of a
taking a
that's a,
sideways step.
it's like like how much better does it really make you to trade? I think you're a lot more
How much
dangerous if
better
you can
does
find
it
a way to
make
keep
the
them.
Steelers? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, how about this? Trade Russell
You know,
Wilson.
I
Yeah, there
mean,
Trade
you
Russell
go.
Wilson.
I mean, he's useless right now, clearly. So
But he still can suit up, so he's still healthy enough to suit up, so he can start for the Raiders.
not over Gardner
No,
Minshew. Thank you very much. Not over Gardner
fucking Russell
Minshew.
Wilson out there like a fucking little kid on Halloween, dude, with the pads on and shit.
You ain't, you, ain't,
Well,
you ain't starting him over Gardner Minshew. Damn it! I,
Aiden O'Connell.
he said I'll take it to the grave. Well, we were talking about these teams starting off with good records. Well, DAR Sports is starting off with great records. We're undefeated, never lost.
never lost.
College football, NFL. We got a weekend wrestling up right now. Still relevant, even with Raw having gone by last night. Good episode of Raw. Goodbye to the 3-hour format. God damn, it's going to be so great. Wrestling fans and combat fans are going to be eating fucking amazing this weekend because the WWE, the Bad Blood is on early to get out of the way for the UFC show that night.
Yep.
Amazing synergy. Good fucking times. I will be having myself a glorious weekend. And we run things gloriously here on DAR Sports Media, the football show. We got college football coming up later this week, of course. Coming up soon, NBA season is right around the corner. We'll probably be doing a East and West preview here sooner than later. The Medium site, the DAR Sports Medium site for articles, written articles, is going fucking insane. Please check it out. I mean, I don't know why I'm encouraging that. They do better numbers than we do here on the pod, so they need to be encouraging all the readers to come check us out. But if by some chance you are listening to this or you have subbed to us and you haven't checked out the Medium site, go there now. It is good shit. And of course, my two compatriots here dropping albums left and right. There's another one coming up here pretty soon. 1010, correct?
That is correct. It's officially loaded up, ready to go. All your DSPs, all your streaming apps, go to Amazon, whatever, Spotify, Apple, whatever you use, because time is of the essence. Time is of the essence. Myself and of course my brother Apollo, we have an amazing album, 11 songs. And then about a month from now, a little bit over a month from now, I got uh my Soul Revival 6 joint dropping. I know Apollo, he got a couple joints dropping as well. We just got a bunch of music. We about to flood y'all. We kind of took a little bit of a break from flooding y'all, and now we back at it. And things is, shit's what they used to say. What did JR used to say? Business is about to pick up. That's all I can say.
Yes, sir. Bill's about to pick up, gentlemen. We appreciate you all for jumping in here. As you can hear, the music front, the Medium site, NBA, combat sports, football, the world of DAR, it just never stops.